join. Firstly, thank you so much for everyone's time and thank you for attending our live information session. It's a pleasure having all of you with us. I am Graham Booyson, Program Advisor, Business School Netherlands, and joining me is Juanita, Director of Business School Netherlands International, and
Good afternoon.
we also have Greg Booyson, Program Advisor, and our ever exciting Dr. George Woods, who will be presenting for us today. I'm going to give straight over to Dr. George Woods.
Thank you so much, and a real privilege to be speaking to you. And Juanita, I was reflecting, it was 2003 that I registered for my MBA.
Wow!
And
22 years ago.
22 years ago, and it was in a campus in Sandton, of all places, Sandton, Johannesburg.
Yes.
So yeah, what a journey. But I'm delighted to be able to absolutely share with you. I'm just going to make sure you can see the presentation. Let's make sure it is in presentation mode. There we go. Is that presentation mode? Can you all see it?
Not yet.
Might be taking a while until
it's going there.
Yeah, there we go.
Fabulous. Okay, good.
No, it's not in presentation mode. It's in the normal mode on my screen.
Okay. Let's just stop sharing and try and get back in there again.
That's presentation mode.
Fabulous.
Okay.
Zoom always is slightly different to Teams, is different to Google, is different to all the others. So there you go. A real privilege to be with you. And what I've done is I've entitled the presentation, "The Decision That Changes the Trajectory of Your Life and Your Career." So let me start by saying I have never, ever regretted doing an MBA. And I certainly haven't regretted doing it with BSN. Inasmuch as the philosophy of the business school is centered around action learning, and that is a discipline I have continued to use throughout my career. But what I thought I'd do is I'd share a little bit with you about the background of an MBA degree from Business School Netherlands, and also to say that I have subsequently gone on to do my DBA, and through very careful stewardship from the business school themselves, graduated in 2023, for which I am eternally grateful. And I think the other thing I would say is in both the MBA's case and certainly the DBA's case, I have used that opportunity to develop businesses, I've used that opportunity to develop consulting opportunities, and it certainly has changed the trajectory of my life. Juanita, you will smile when you hear this, but I have large in my mind Professor Christos Seaman, who was my supervisor, and was a larger-than-life character, but somebody who was so dedicated to academic excellence, and so we'll always be grateful to him. So the agenda topics we'll do today. We're going to do an introduction to Business School Netherlands. We'll have a brief look at the program structure and curriculum, the benefits of an MBA from BSN, and then some success stories. And really grateful to have been asked, because I'll be sharing just a little bit about my own life, my own story. So there you have graduation day. And boy, what a celebration and what a joy. Let me say this much about an MBA. I would never class it as a difficult degree in terms of complexity. What it does is it teaches you systems thinking and how to calibrate at a high level, how to apply systems thinking. But at the end of the day, it's the curricula you follow, it's the volume of input that you give that actually carries the weight and is the value of an MBA degree. And I'll explore that a little bit more with you as we go. So, founded in 1988, BSN has been dedicated to delivering high-quality business education for over 3 decades. And in fact, correct me if I'm wrong, but last year was our 35th anniversary of the founding of the school. Again, a great year, a great celebration. And when you look at the growth and development of the business school, The school has experienced significant growth, becoming a leading institution in business education and focused on practical skills. I think what I valued about a MBA from BSN was not only the domestic context, and at that point in time I was living in South Africa, so there was a lot of domestic context, and you will have heard, for those of you who joined a little bit earlier, exploring global dynamics. And I think that's what an MBA brings to you. It brings you that domestic perspective, but also the international focus. Now, Business School Netherlands is squarely focused on the domestic context and then, of course, the international focus as well. And so the school does emphasize international perspectives, preparing students for a global business environment. And the other reflection we were having, just as we were warming up for this conversation, is that there's a new breed of leadership required in the world. Whether it's politics or whether it's business leadership, there's a new breed of leadership required. And I think an MBA, certainly from BSN, prepares you really, really well for the global dynamics in which we find ourselves. Now, action learning is a key stone philosophy. So why do we learn? So what we say is our passion is to develop results-driven leadership by increasing the knowledge and skills of individuals and groups, enabling them to make informed decisions, successfully implement change, and to take responsibility for a better world. And if I think back to the philosophy of the school, there's the action learning principles, which is problem solving in community. But then there is also the learning application and then the implementation. And a key focus of BSN has been its focus on return on equity, return on investment. So you could get yourself a degree for the sake of a degree, but what is the point if you haven't actually learned how to apply it? And I think that's the value that BSN brings. It's a well-facilitated program. You'll see we're located on 4 continents in 9 locations, and of course in multiple languages as well. And so, I think that brings strength and color and different dynamic perspectives to the business school itself. Accreditation, so BSN is accredited by various recognized bodies, ensuring that its programs adhere to really high educational standards. The degree is credible and it is valuable in the job market. Again, I go back to sort of key emphasis here. You can land a degree without actually changing your life, or you can land a degree and change your life. And I would put it to you that BSN, through its action learning approach, is life-changing, it is career-changing, it is direction-changing. And so the value to students, of course, is that its recognized accreditations provide students with the assurance of quality education and certainly improve their career prospects. I think, Juanita, the thing I enjoy about BSN is it's never static. It's always looking to new opportunities. And in fact, I spotted something in the media more recently around some new opportunities that the school is exploring. So always looking to re-engineer itself, always looking to be relevant. So its core values and educational philosophy. So there's integrity in education. So integrity is a foundational value of BSN, ensuring honesty and ethical behavior in all educational pursuits. And if I think back to some of the set work that we did, or certainly some of the exchanges that we had through tutorials, was that constant focus on being ethical leaders, making a meaningful difference in the world. And that has certainly inspired me time and time again. Professionalism is a focus. It's emphasized at BSN, preparing students to meet the expectations of their future careers with confidence. And then innovation as a guiding principle. Innovation drives the educational philosophy at BSN, encouraging creative thinking and problem-solving skills among its students. And as I said before, I think some of those lessons, particularly around action learning, there's some of the guided principles about how you research. I think one of the joys for me was the writing. My style of writing as a student changed from writing in the first person to writing in the third person. and that ability to abstract, put together academic concepts and apply them to real life problems. And I think that has continued to add value. Our alumni now number, I sort of have a number of 10,000 in mind plus, and continue to grow every year. So the MBA program structure and curriculum. So the program structure, MBA program is designed to cover essential business topics with opportunities for specialization in various fields. And I think that is what I really valued. At the time that I did my MBA, I was still in banking circles. I was working for Nedbank South Africa at the time, who had sponsored my MBA. And every action learning project that I submitted was principally focused around real life problems and action learning problems that had been solved. And so the program structure was really meaningful in that respect, whether it was strategy management or it was marketing or whatever the case might be. The measurement was always on what return on investment will that action learning project land, for instance. And so those measurements were quite key. I think what I valued so much, and it's a skill I have continued to use, and forgive me for using the word I, but it is a personal testimonial in this instance, was critical thinking and the development of critical thinking. And so the program emphasizes developing critical thinking skills that enable us to analyze complex business situations effectively. And I use the term systems thinking right up front, but it is that idea that you can take an organization, you apply systems thinking, you disaggregate the system, you understand where the problem is, and you reassemble the organization based on this problem that you've solved for. Or indeed a strategic decision-making lens. So participants learned strategic decision-making skills that are essential for navigating the business landscape successfully. So key modules and subjects, of course, strategic management, finance, marketing, organizational behavior. And, I think if I sort of reflect on the sort of opening remarks and the global world we find ourselves in now, these remain highly relevant and both tactical and strategic topics. And what we're needing to do now, and the reason I would advise an MBA, is that we are needing to operate in a world that is changing rapidly, requires innovative responses, requires a new style of resilient leadership. And an MBA from BSN is exceptionally well placed to do that. Unique learning methodologies, for instance, the action learning approach, which I discussed earlier. The action learning methodology promotes experiential learning, enabling students to tackle real world challenges through collaboration. Like any good MBA program, of course, there's case studies and the utilization of case studies, the analysis of those case studies, and I go back to the construct of using systems thinking to unpack the problem and to reassemble the system. And of course, there's enhanced problem-solving skills. So these methodologies enhance problem-solving skills by encouraging critical thinking and practical application of knowledge. So the benefits of an MBA from BSN. Leadership skills. I think first and foremost, I don't think I'd be alone in saying that the world is crying for ethical leaders. The world is crying for leaders to step up and take their place to help solve real world problems. And I think an MBA from BSN enables us to do that. The MBA program emphasizes the development of leadership skills, essential for effective management and team guidance in professional settings. Analytical thinking. Students are trained in analytical thinking, enabling them to solve complex problems and make data-driven decisions in their careers. If I think of the formulation of a master's thesis, and the different types of data points that you'll bring together, either in a qualitative or a quantitative setting. I think back again, Juanita, to the days of Professor Seaman, and of course, his successes and the triangulation of data between qualitative and quantitative data points. An MBA teaches you how to do that. You know, your research methodology techniques are really, really solid, and you're well supported through the journey. And I think that's what I appreciated. Then, of course, effective communication. So effective communication is a key focus of the MBA program, preparing graduates to articulate ideas clearly and collaborate efficiently. And of course, there's loads of networking opportunities. Through the alumni network, the BSN alumni network offers connections to successful professionals across various industries and enhancing career prospects. There's the industry connections you make, strong industry connections, which foster collaboration and provide insights into current market trends and opportunities. And of course, there's the professional relationships. You know, building professional relationships during the duration of the program can, of course, lead to mentorship and potential job opportunities in the future. And I thought now is probably a good time to pause and just to say to you, the topic of my MBA dissertation was around risk management mitigation strategies in banking. The University of Johannesburg picked up on this piece of work after I had graduated and invited me to develop a course specifically around risk mitigation strategies in financial services. That then became a consulting opportunity, which I still run today. MBAs are about entrepreneurship. They're about grasping business opportunities. They're about creating new businesses. And I think an MBA places you in a really good position to do that. Of course, there's career advancement and increased earning potential. My story is not unique in this instance, but MBA graduates often record an increase in earning potential as organizations recognize the value of an MBA. And so graduates of the BSN MBA program often achieve notable promotions and leadership roles within their organizations. There's, of course, the increased earning potential. Earning an MBA from BSN can lead to higher salaries, better job opportunities in a highly, highly competitive job market, which is becoming increasingly the case. And of course, there's the valued practical skills. To this day, I still use a business model canvas if I need to articulate a strategy. You know, to this day, I will use an action learning circle of reflection when we're trying to solve problems within our organization. These days, just out of interest, I now work for St. John International, based here in England, and the subject of my DBA was post-pandemic sustainability in social enterprise. And we have rolled out the model that I used as part of my dissertation into 22 countries. And today I was part of a steering committee that was able to witness the fruit of some of what we've done as part of this research. So that's action learning. That's real life problems. As I said right up front, you know, you can earn yourself a degree and not change your life one iota. Or you can earn yourself a degree from BSN, and I guarantee you, you will change your life. And you'll change your career trajectory, or indeed, you will change the impact that you have on the world. So, success stories. BSN alumni have excelled in various fields, demonstrating the program's impact on their careers. The MBA program at BSN is designed to cultivate leadership skills, preparing students for impactful careers. Alumni have made significant contributions across industries, highlighting the versatility of the MBA program. So this is about personal growth, and it is about personal impact. So alumni reflections, many alumni share insights on how their MBA journey has fostered significant personal growth, enhancing their confidence and their capabilities. We've spoken about career advancement, but folks, at the end of the day, it is about life satisfaction. It's about making those important life choices. And choosing to do an MBA is about you. It's about your career. It's about the impact you want to have on the world. And you can choose from many different MBAs, but I would say to you, BSN and action learning and the philosophy of the school is one that truly will change the trajectory of your career and indeed your life. So there are many success stories, and you can go look at our website, and of course that'll talk to it in great detail. We've spoken about career opportunities, and of course we've spoken about transformational impact. So I'm going to pause there and stop sharing. I think you might be able to tell, you just might be able to tell, that I'm a vowed and converted BSN alumni. I opted to do my MBA and my DBA through the school, and those are both choices that I will always be grateful for. So I'm open to questions, thoughts, reflections. Juanita, you've journeyed with me in personally over a long period of time.
Yeah, George, I wanted to say we're proud to call you one of our own. We really are proud to call you one of our own. For those that are here, just to let you know, I'm also a graduate of Business School Netherlands. I graduated in 2010 with my MBA. I'm not as brave as George. I haven't delved into that doctorate space.
Not yet.
But I've also done it, and I can attest to what he's saying. I can remember very clearly when I was finished studying, and I was writing my very last assignment, which is a reflection assignment based on what you've actually learned through the program. I went back and I started reading the assignments that I had submitted in the first place, and I could not believe the difference in the writing from the first assignment than to the dissertation that I wrote. And I don't know if you have the same feeling, George, when you read that dissertation. It's almost like you're reading a book of a guru. That's how it feels.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. And certainly the MBA gave me the confidence to take that next step. But I think, you know, your reflections on writing style, absolutely. Your reflections, you know, if you take a step back and look at what you've written, it's the how you've written it and the reasoning that you've applied, you know, with some sound tools at your disposal. The tools you wouldn't have had, you know, had you not done an MBA, for instance.
No. And what's nice is the camaraderie as well.
Indeed.
I still have friends today that I studied with. In fact, one of them is a very good friend of mine. We almost, you know, the kiddies would say my BFF. One of those, a powerhouse of a woman, and we've remained friends all the years. I mean, we're talking
Amazing.
now, we started studying in 2006 together, so we're talking almost 20 years.
It's extraordinary. Absolutely. And alumni and the alumni network, there's a real power behind the network and remaining connected. And yes, certainly I'm still in contact with some of my MBA buddies who we graduated together.
Yep.
You know, I think, let me say this about an MBA. It's, you know, I sort of tried to articulate it earlier. I would never describe it as difficult. I would describe the volume of work as something that you need to commit to.
Yes.
You know, and I think sort of know that up front. It's manageable if you plan your life well, says he with great confidence. Learned many a hard lesson along the way. But plan your life well, make space for it. But it is the single greatest investment you will make in your career, in your personal life story. And as I said earlier, it's one I've never, ever regretted.
Yeah. People don't believe you when you say, I mean, for me, my greatest thing on the MBA, I so looked forward to doing my action learning projects. It sounds ridiculous, but I was excited about doing those projects because I was solving real problems and I was learning so much.
Quite right. Yeah. No, there's great value. And the other thing I would say is you learn to read differently. You learn to abstract information differently. You know, that idea of systems thinking and systems methodology, about how you analyze a whole system, a whole value chain. You know, you just approach it completely differently. And
yes, and you think in problems. You think in problems.
Exactly.
That for me was a big problem. That was a big problem because I started feeling like somebody who was continually picking holes in other people's stuff. But I was obsessed with when people were talking about things they were doing, I was obsessed at looking at what problems could there be, what opportunities could there be, what challenges they run into. So your whole thinking changes.
Absolutely. But you'll also find you become part of the wise counsel and the wise voice, because you're coming at problems from a very different angle.
Yes.
You'll find, I certainly have found this in terms of my board interaction, for instance. So sitting on alongside a board of trustees as part of the executive, you will always be the left field thinker or come out of the right field. You will have seen the problem from a different angle, because in your mind you're applying action learning as a philosophy. You're asking pointed questions. It's almost like the Socrates question. Just when you think you've answered the why, you ask why again. Okay, and it's learned techniques. It's a different approach.
Absolutely.
I hope you can tell folk who are online from my own personal enthusiasm. I highly recommend this journey, and I certainly recommend the business school. Are there any questions that you'd like to ask? Feel brave, because now's as good a time as any to learn to say, well, I do have a question.
And ask questions. Heinrich, I would love to hear your voice again. You were at an information session with us, I think, last month or the month before.
Yes,
so I would love to
correct.
hear you again. I see you back again.
Yes, I'm really interested. I'm still busy completing the PGD, which is scheduled to complete by end of October this year, as far as I recall. Basically 3 subjects left, and I'm really interested to look at this as a continuation of that for further development. Now that I'm in it at the moment and have been busy with the PGD since last year at Stellenbosch. And and this is obviously very attractive in terms of the scholarship that's also being offered as far as I understand, for the first 20 applicants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the amount. If we have a huge uptake, then we will obviously go back to the board and ask.
Yeah.
If they're able to extend more.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's basically my position. Yeah. No, thanks.
Thanks, Heinrich. Actually, our journey is similar. I started at Stellenbosch as well. So so there we go. So Stellenbosch was great grounding. But I absolutely loved the transition between the 2 business schools and actually using action learning as a key principle. So so wish you well, and certainly hope you register.
Yeah, one of our previous MD did this course. Actually, I think he graduated in 2012. Yeah. So yeah.
Heinrich, what is his name?
It's Mike Jessup.
Ah, I know him well. He's Hydra.
Yes, correct. That is correct.
Yes, now I know
Fantastic.
him. Definitely, he's a grad of ours.
There was a whole bunch of them doing it, but I think only him completed it for some reason. I can't remember the exact.
Yes, they were about 4 or 5, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. Some senior managers back in the time.
And quite a number of them actually left Hydra, I think. And I think that was where the challenge came in.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so I'm still with the company. I'm still with the company all year.
You're still with Hydra?
Still with Hydra, yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
I mean, interesting, Heinrich, your point, or Juanita's point around career transition. It's interesting how many times in an MBA, on completion, that can lead to a career transition or doing something very different. And as I say, it has a heavy weighting towards entrepreneurship as well, and actually sort of which I quite enjoyed, to be fair.
Yeah. 100%.
A lot of our guys move towards consulting, George. They specialize in a particular field and they move towards consulting because they've been honed on the skill of finding the problems. Exactly. So it lends itself very well to becoming a consultant.
100%. I mean, the example I shared earlier, certainly of the DBA in this instance, of actually today I was able to step away from the project for the very first time, because it now runs on its own, and there are 22 countries that will benefit from a piece of work that we delivered through a BSN degree. And it is and life-changing. I mean, it's a charity we're talking about here, but life-changing, life-impacting developments. And what we've done is we've now developed 3 educational hubs: one in South Africa, one in Kenya, in Nairobi, and one in England. And these three educational hubs will manage the quality and the standards of the 22 countries in which we've now rolled out the first phase of our program. But that was off the back of a post-pandemic sustainability and social enterprise exercise, which was the foundation of my DBA. Yeah.
George, I think it's time for an interview, huh? I think it's time for an interview with you.
Indeed, absolutely. Only too happy to talk about it. So I'm a convert, and I'm an evangelist for for BSN, but simply because it really did change my life and change the trajectory of my own career. Yeah.
Rosemary, do you have any questions? Are you with us, Rosemary?
Where are you dialing in from? Yeah, I was just curious as to where Rosemary's dialing in from. She might not be able to come off mute or something like that.
Possibly.
LB, have you? Have we lost? No. We just there we go. It's changing as we go. LB, how are you doing?
Hello. Yeah, no.
Hi.
I work with Heinrich at Hydra, so he invited me to this meeting.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah, it's just nice to see what it's about and where it can change your path going to the future. But at this point, I haven't decided to which direction I need to go, but it's interesting to see these options. But it's
Thanks,
from my
LB.
side. Thank you.
Nice to have you join us today. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
It's important to weigh up the options, Albie. It's very important, and decide what direction you're taking, because you know a lot of people underestimate. They will say, I don't do an MBA because it costs too much. The most important thing is I don't do an MBA because I have to invest my time. So you need to make sure that you're going in the right direction before you commit and invest your time, because that's far more than any money that you will spend.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very good. Good. Any other questions, thoughts, reflections? I mean,
We
I
still
make
have
myself.
Godfrey, we have Booyson.
Yeah. Juanita, I mean, I'll make myself available to you in the school. If anybody has a question, wants a personal reference point, they're very welcome to chat to me.
Fantastic. Thanks, George.
Perfect.
Godfrey, are you thinking of doing an MBA? Godfrey?
Yes,
There he is.
Dr. George, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing fine.
Good.
Unfortunately, I joined late, so I'm kind of confused a bit about what has been discussed already, but hoping that the recording will be shared so that I can follow up with few questions that I may have. Thank you.
Indeed. Thanks, Godfrey. Presumably the recording would be shared if folk wanted it.
Indeed.
Yeah, Godfrey, I will also be, I'm Graham Booyson, Program Advisor. I will also be in contact with you from tomorrow.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks, Godfrey. Very good, folks. Yeah, as I say, available for any questions you may have. I think back to the panel of BSN.
Graham,
Okay.
all yours.
Yeah, perfect. Just before we end off, I just want to announce that we We just started our first intake on the MBA program in Feb. The next intake is May, and then we have September and November being the last one. You can apply now for any of those intakes, and of course, a 65% partial scholarship, yes, is available. It is available to the first 20. However, we can make exceptions, like Juanita said. We can speak to the board and see if we can make any exceptions for the latecomers. Thanks so much for everyone attending the information session. It was a pleasure having all of you with us. I will most definitely contact all of you that has attended from tomorrow. And yeah, let's get those applications in. I'm sure by attending the session, your intent is to do an MBA. So thank you so much, Dr. George Woods and Juanita Bauer.
Pleasure.
And thanks so much for everyone for attending. Take care. Enjoy the
Thank you
rest
so
of the
much.
evening.
George.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Thank you,
Have a lovely
everyone.
evening, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good evening,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.